This is the Brazoria County Minute. And now the host of the Brazoria County Minute, Kristen English.
Hi, I'm Kristen English with Brazoria County Minute, and I'm here on location with Sarah Harrell at Brazosport College today. So can you tell us a little bit about this location that we're at?
Absolutely. So we are in the atrium in the Corporate Learning Center located on the main college campus. So this building houses the Center for Business and Industry Training, as well as the Small Business Development Center, as well as my office, which is apprenticeship, and the corporate, in addition to corporate training events. So we host a lot of events for our local business partners. This is a building sponsored by Dow. So we have Dow, a lot of petrochemical companies coming in for training, luncheons, all sorts of events. So we're always welcoming opportunities to invite community and business to come and see what we have going on here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful space. I walked in and it's overcast today, and I'm like, I'm getting twilight vibes up here. I just feel like I'm in Forks, Washington today with the the fog and the pretty green trees up here. I just love it.
The Brazosport campus is absolutely beautiful.
It really is.
We have walking trails. There's a lot of dedication to making sure that the campus is beautiful. So if you're in the area and you're interested, I highly recommend just taking a look and seeing what we have here on campus and learning about programs and opportunities. There's a lot also for the community and the continuing education department where they have opportunities as well for community members looking for leisure learning or additional training.
Yeah, and that's why we're here today with you. You are the apprenticeship navigator
Yes.
for Brazosport College. And can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I'm actually originally from Canada, so if you hear me drop an A or say sorry, now you know why.
You can forgive her.
I have a different accent. And in Canada, I was a hospital social worker, and I really have always felt that my purpose in life is to help people. That is what has given me the most job satisfaction. And so when I moved to Texas, I found that, what was happening in Canada wasn't happening here, and so how could I find my place? And I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to work in grants, which then gave me an opportunity at a local community college where I worked for 10 years. And I realized that through accessing grants and accessing resources, it helped me gain the opportunity to give people access to training, often at no cost, that would get people who've never had a living wage the opportunity to earn a living wage and to help their families. Also on our campus and most community college campuses, there are a lot of resources that people don't realize that are available for students. So here at Brazosport, we have Gator Mart, which is a food bank. We have emergency assistance. So there's a lot of resources. So when somebody comes to us and is in need of aid, we're able to say, okay, well, maybe there's a grant, or maybe you need food assistance. I know who to connect you with here. And so that has really helped give me purpose in my work. And then in this area, we're also so fortunate. When you look at labor market data across the nation, this area is full of so much growth and so much opportunity. And so it's really exciting for me coming from Canada, where we don't necessarily have this level of industry, and to see the opportunity for people and then the impact that it has on the community. For example, business partners that invest in our colleges and help us have beautiful spaces like this.
Yeah. So as the apprenticeship navigator, what is your goal?
So this is actually a new position. I am the first apprenticeship navigator at the college, so it's a really cool opportunity.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah. And so the goal is to serve as the primary point of contact for both internal. So if we had somebody, an internal staff member or department that might be interested in, like, hey, what's apprenticeship? I heard it's a tool that can help with workforce development or addressing workforce shortages. Or external stakeholders, which is where the majority of my work is, and helping them explore those opportunities, because with apprenticeship, you're working with the Department of Labor as well as TWC. There's a lot that can seem overwhelming at first, but it's really so well organized. And so really it's kind of going back to where I originally started with, this is a great opportunity to help connect people who need resources like this with the actual resources. So like I said, this work includes access to grant funding. So there's a lot of grant funding that is available to cover the cost of instruction. There's funding for employers, and it also helps us with that to collaborate with existing business partners to help them gain funds to expand what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. People don't need to be intimidated by coming in, because it sounds like you've got someone here to
Right.
really, not just you, a whole staff of people that can help with things. So
And that navigator title is really,
Yes.
I'm here to help you navigate this if it's something
I love
you're
that title.
interested in.
That sounds really
it's fun.
Yeah, it does sound fun. Yeah. So what are some of the benefits of apprenticeship?
For sure. So apprenticeship is a wonderful resource that helps both the apprentice and the employer and the community. So apprenticeship provides an individual with an opportunity to earn money in their chosen occupation while also completed what's called related technical instruction. So in the apprenticeship world, this is called RTI, related technical
Okay.
instruction. So the employer actually identifies what they want. So sometimes this can be, I want my students to complete a certificate in electrical instrumentation or process technology, or an associate's degree so that they can move on to a teaching degree.
Okay.
Or it is a short workforce credential. So it really, what's cool here is there's so much opportunity to customize based on employers' needs. So
Okay.
it's all about, what does the industry need?
Okay. And so if someone is wanting to step into the apprenticeship program, and they're thinking, it kind of sounds like something I would want, can you explain it a little bit
So
more?
let's go twofold. Let's look at it from the perspective of the student apprentice.
Okay.
And then we should look at it at the perspective of the employer.
Okay, that'd be great.
Because they coexist
Yeah,
together.
that's-
You
yeah.
can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
So for the student, typically we would recommend, or the student, I think student apprentice, because my role here is often connecting them to the related technical instruction. So I say student, and again, working at a college, student focused, but they're apprentices. So for somebody who's looking to be an apprentice, the first thing I would recommend is, do you have any idea what you want to do? And then looking to see if, reaching out to me, and I'm sure you'll share my information.
Yes,
and there
it'll
are
be down in the
other
description.
people. So if you're listening across the state of Texas, Texas Workforce Commission helps to promote apprenticeship navigator work, and there are apprenticeship navigators all over the state. So if you're hearing this outside of this area, just know that type in apprenticeship navigator my area or TWC, or even just reach out to me. And we can help you see what types of opportunities
that's
are
awesome.
available.
Yeah.
And there's also resources on the DOL website
Okay.
and TWC website. In this area, there's 2 apprenticeships that are ongoing. So we have the Dow Apprenticeship Program, and so they have recruitment events. So we actually shared that on social media when their spring enrollment and application period was open. They go through an interview process, and then they're brought into the program.
So does that happen each semester?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually fall and spring,
Okay.
but it can change. And then we have Brazosport Independent School District, who has their K through 12 teacher apprenticeship.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yeah, and so with that, they, I want to make sure I'm speaking correctly, and we are actually hosting an event where we have our business partners who will be coming and sharing more about their process. So I don't want to speak too much of that to that, because my role with that is just to support them. But they are also an amazing opportunity for anyone who's looking to enter the teaching
Yeah, that
and
does sound like a
education space.
really good opportunity. Yeah.
Yes, and so with apprenticeship, there is the a wonderful component, which I think has been instrumental in my career, which is mentorship. So there's a term in the apprenticeship world called journeyman, but it means mentor.
Okay.
And so I would not be where I'm at professionally from day one if it weren't for my internships in my undergrad and my graduate degree, where, I've stood on the shoulders of a lot of great people who
Yeah.
poured a lot into me. And, in this day and age, I know a lot of people feel like, oh goodness, this might be more work for me. But what we're finding is that the journeymen, the mentors, find this so rewarding because you spend, such a large amount of your life investing in your occupation and your specialty, and then to have that opportunity to pass that down to the next generation. And
Yeah, that can be very fulfilling.
very.
Yeah, for sure. So what role does Brazosport College play in all of this?
So that's my role. So I work with 2 grants. I'm the manager of one grant that helps secure funding, and then the other components of this grant is I host events. So we have an employer roundtable event coming up where we'll be sharing best practices directly from our employer partners that are heavily engaged in this space in the area, as well as TWC. So TWC has an abundance of resources and a lot of grant funding, and they can really share tips and tricks for helping to navigate that system as well. So a lot of it's kind of coming back to my roots of case management. So addressing needs, because everyone's needs are so different. And when you approach it from more of that case management approach, you're able to give the company what they need and help the student apprentices get what they need and navigate a lot of the paper ceiling that exists in these worlds.
Yeah, because that can be so overwhelming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know.
Absolutely. For people who are Gen Z and they're entering into the workforce, maybe they're coming out of high school this year or, been out of high school for a little bit, haven't quite figured out what to do. How can this program help them in this kind of changing, because we've had some conversations about the changing landscape of careers and education. It's kind of in a shift from the way it's been in the past.
Right.
Can you speak on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I've been fortunate to see Gen Zs entering the workforce as apprentices in the petrochemical environment, and it got me so excited because unfortunately, I don't always get to engage with students as much as I would like, and that is what lights my fire because I want to help people. And it's wonderful helping the business partners. I love engaging with my business partners, but I get even more excited when I see how engaged and happy the students are because they're employees of this company.
Yeah.
And to see youth, I see Gen Z as youth, but really they're adults now, so I apologize.
Yeah, they're young adults.
But seeing them have the opportunity to enter the workforce in such a supportive environment, and then just going back to my own experience, if it wasn't for opportunities that I had, like co-ops, internships, if apprenticeship had been that opportunity for me, that would have been huge because you need work experience. And so this provides individuals, especially Gen Z, and especially coming out of COVID, where we really lost that human-to-human contact. And entering the workforce, you need, whether it's a formal mentorship or not, it's so important to have somebody on your team that knows what they're doing and that is willing to help nurture and grow you, especially for somebody who's hungry and engaged. So if somebody is a Gen Z and they're looking and they're feeling a little overwhelmed.
It can be very overwhelming.
Yes.
Everyone's been saying, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And, you just don't know yet. So
Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know. And the best way to do that is through exploration. And apprenticeship presents a really wonderful opportunity for exploration. It's that earn and learn model. We hadn't had a time to talk about that, and so this might be a great way to speak more about that.
Yeah, tell us more about that.
So this presents the student apprentice with the opportunity to earn money and receive incremental wages as they receive either certifications, they meet their time-based approach, because there's different types of apprenticeships and different models, but they all have the same goal: on-the-job training, support from their mentor or journeyman, incremental wage increases, and then they're engaging after hours in their related technical instruction.
Okay.
So a lot of them are coming here to work on technical certificates or bachelor's degrees. And so they're getting all of this often for free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so in this economy as well, it's kind of like if you're young, this is a huge opportunity, low risk, to gain experience and to learn and to And I think it's also, I had a family member who once said, crawl before you walk. And this is a wonderful way to slowly dip your foot.
Kind of get your feet wet a little bit.
Because your employer's not expecting you to know everything day one. And it helps.
Because even if you have a degree, you don't know how to quite do your job yet.
Exactly. Exactly. Anytime somebody starts a new job, there's a learning opportunity. But when you're building that foundation in the beginning for somebody where they feel that support, they feel that nurturing. And again, Gen Zs are they're graduating, they're moving out, some of them, and it's their first experience into true adulthood. And what I love about apprenticeship for this population is they're still being supported. There's still so much available. The organization supports the student. And by organization, I mean the employer. And then you also have the supports from the campus. So all student apprentices that are coming through Brazosport College receive all of those wonderful resources we talked about. So they're receiving, at times, emergency aid. They have access to the food Gator Mart. They have access to scholarships. They have access to I can't even begin to talk about the amazing opportunities coming through student life and other areas on campus.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Because as my adult children will say, adulting's hard.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of good support system. It can take some of the stress away of trying to, make it in the world and get your education and, get out there and start your career. There's so much going on and so much pressure at a young age.
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of support for that, and I love that.
It feels amazing. And at one point, all of us were new to the workforce, and it is, cumbersome to feel like, ooh, I've got all of this theory in my head. I've read the books, I've passed the test, but it looks very different when you're out there. And to have that experience where you're actually learning while you're experiencing it in the workforce. And what's great is typically what I've seen with our employer partners is they align the education that the individual is receiving with the type of work that they're doing. So you're getting that beautiful experience of theory and then practical hands-on experience.
Yeah, I love that.
And marrying the two just creates a better opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, there's nothing like learning on the job.
Yes.
Getting your hands dirty and seeing seeing it play out.
But avoiding that baptism by fire experience
Yes.
where they are being nurtured and supported. And if you're coming fresh out of high school, or maybe you just don't have in your social network of people in your life, maybe not everybody has somebody. I'm actually first gen college myself, and so I relied really heavily on my instructors at the university I went to, my individuals who led my practicum experiences, and so I'm just such a big championship of this for young people, because even if, because there's always going to be a chance that this person in their apprenticeship might be like, oh, you know what, this wasn't for me, but what I did see was I'm really curious about the IT side of the house. It gives an individual an opportunity to join the workforce and go, ooh, you know what? Maybe it's HR. Maybe it's this, but you don't know until you're in that professional environment where you're exploring. But what I've found is that a lot of them are very happy, especially in the Dow apprenticeship program is very long-standing, and so when I'm engaging with those students, they're just so vibrant and excited, and these are Gen Z individuals, and it shocks me just how excited and engaged they are. And there's we've actually submitted a few of their success stories, and they'll be getting interviewed and at a larger scale.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I think you'll be able to see a lot more of the wonderful impact that apprenticeship is having for Gen Zs coming up soon from this college and other areas. We'll definitely be sharing that.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I just thank you for coming today and sharing about this little gem that some people may not know about.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah. And if you think that you could benefit for this, or someone who could, you can see Sarah's a very warm, inviting person and is just eager to help. So please reach out to her and reach out to the college, and they can point you in the right direction.
Yes. And so whether you're a business partner, you're somebody in the community that is an employer, and you're wondering, hey, can you do an apprenticeship for a flower shop? Yes, you can. It's actually quite surprising where apprenticeship can happen.
That's awesome.
So it's not just in these large scale areas, and you don't have to have 20 apprentices. I'm working with all about pilot projects, and so if somebody's interested, you can have 1 or 2 apprentices and explore that and see what that looks like.
That's awesome.
And then for students, as potential students who are interested, please reach out. We also have a lot of other opportunities happening on campus as well, and a lot of partnerships. There's the Jumpstart program that is also being lifted off, which is has workforce training components as well. So even if it's not apprenticeship, if you are out here looking for an opportunity to do workforce development, gain skills, please reach out to us at Brazosport. There are so many opportunities, whether you, again, are an employer, a community member, or a potential student. There's just so many great things happening here, and it's going to just continue.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I had so much fun.
Okay.
The Brazoria County Minute is brought to you by BeRemembered.us. Tell your story. Be remembered.